Hi, my name is Benny Abraham Matthews.
And Abraham Sandeep Samuel here.
The IELTS reading task has been a difficult module for a lot of students. Today, we are here with a session on the common mistakes of IELTS and how to tackle them. To begin with, most of the students try and waste their time trying to understand the meaning of a particular word.
Yeah, I do understand that. For that, I would suggest that students they do come across words that are difficult, maybe unheard of by them. But don't worry. Read the sentence or maybe the words before the word and the words after, and try to get a kind of a meaning that transpires from the totality of that sentence.
From the whole sentence.
Yes, that's what I feel they should be doing, and not be bothered about one word that might impede their understanding.
Yeah. So this is something that students have to come out from.
Yes.
And you can actually come out of it with a lot of practice.
Yes.
The other thing is that
The second thing I would like to, sorry, I'm interrupting. The second thing I would like to say is, for vocabulary building is very important.
yes,
Maybe the more number of words, the more you read newspapers, the more novels you read, the more books you read, you come across many words. Make a list of those words, write down the meanings of those words in another notebook, and make a sentence out of it, and do a read of these words every day. So that is one way of preparing yourself to maybe enrich your vocabulary, which will help you surmount this problem that we've tackled now of not understanding words.
yeah. So you don't have to get stuck not understanding a vocabulary and wasting your time there. So you have to come out of this with a lot of practice. The next common mistake is not able to understand or grasp the meaning of a question.
Yes, that is because every question has a what, why, or how, or is. Those are the words that you have to check. For example, what is the day today? The word what certainly demands an answer in the form of what is a day? Is it a Saturday or a Sunday?
Yeah.
Then maybe there's another question you might encounter is, what kind of a day is it today? So it certainly points out to whether it's hot or cold, that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
How is the day today? Well, how do you feel about the day? So these are the words that you should keep in mind, and not the words that come after. The words that come after certainly are related to the words like what, why, how, is, do.
Yeah.
So that is what you got to point to, or maybe get your attention to. So that tells you exactly what kind of answer is expected of you.
Yes. A lot of students are very confused with the skimming and scanning technique. They sometimes feel they should do skimming first. Sometimes they feel that scanning is to be done first. So what do you say about
That depends on how a student reads. There's some students who read the passage first and then come to the questions. For them, they need to skim first, and then they scan for the answers when they come to the question part. Some students go to the questions first and then come to the passage later. For them, it is scanning first because they read the question first. So let me put it in short. Scanning happens after you check the question, and you scan for the information that the question asks you. You go searching for a keyword or whatever, and you scan for the information that the question demands you to maybe look for.
Okay.
Skimming is where you try to get an overall idea of a paragraph, and then you go to you read the whole passage. Not read, you go through the whole passage and you get the overall idea of the entire passage. So that is done, especially in when you read the last line of the previous paragraph and read the first line of the next paragraph, and then come down to the last line of that paragraph, and then you get an overall about how the paragraph is linked to the previous paragraph.
Yeah.
because an idea in an entire passage runs through the passage. The idea has many faces. So when you read it this way, you get to know the different faces of a single idea that the passages maybe trying to convey to us.
Yeah.
So that is good. You got to skim in case you're used to maybe reading the passage first, and you scan. For scanning again, what you do is you've got to look for people, places, years, mark them, and then go ahead to the questions. For skimming, you look for words of contrast like but or moreover in a sentence and see how is an idea changed from one to another.
Yeah.
Normally when we have moreover or but, it's always the idea that comes after that takes over the
Yeah.
idea that precedes it.
Yeah.
So that is where your attention goes to. Then when it comes to however is an addition or moreover. I'm sorry, moreover. It's an addition to it where you have an idea given before and moreover above that there's another idea coming which is of a similar kind. So keeping in mind these words of contrast, words of sequence, words of time, and reading an entire passage will help you, will like prop you to get the idea of the whole passage intact.
Another common mistake is that candidates don't tend to read the question or read the instructions carefully.
And that's why they get their answers wrong. They might get the answer, they know what the answer is, but they get it wrong.
Yeah, they get it wrong.
Thing is, the instructions tell you exactly how many words you should be writing.
Yeah.
It should be a word or a number. That should be clearly followed. Otherwise, even if your answer is right, close to right, it would not be right. It will be marked wrong. So be very careful about that.
Another problem is time management. They don't practice, the time, so they're not able to manage the time.
Yeah. See, time management is like every test has got 1 hour, which means it is 20 minutes per section because we have 3 sections. So candidates tend to take the 20 minutes when they practice. So when they go to the exams, the nervousness comes in, and a lot of rereading happens. So it goes beyond 20 minutes per passage.
And they're not able to manage the time.
So when you practice, my humble request and my only advice is that you try to finish a passage in under 10 minutes or at least 10 minutes each. That would make it half an hour for the entire test. So practice that way and you're through.
So then you have ample time, to look for maybe a specific answer that you were not able to find out.
That's true. And another thing I would say is mark the time. If you start a test by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, write 1 to 1:10 on the passage that you're doing first. Then 1:10 to 1:20 on the second passage, 1:20 to 1:30 on the third passage. That'll keep you in track and keep your eyes both on the passage and at the time. So that'll get you to maybe work within a certain time limit so that you get faster.
Yeah, that's true. So another problem that a lot of candidates come across is they feel that spellings are not very important.
Very important. They will be penalized for that. If suppose a P or an E is not written, it shows that you're not proficient, you don't know the spellings, you're out. That is marked wrong, though the answer is right. If it's population, Population is a spelling, but you spelled as Poppulation, certainly that is not the spelling and you're marked wrong. It is not like writing where probably Poppulation would be taken into account. Here it is specific word in the right spelling, in the right grammatical sense.
Yeah, and also along with this, as you do your reading, you will be writing your answers on the question booklet. The spelling problem normally happens when they transfer the answer from the question booklet to the answer sheet.
Yes.
So you have to be careful at that end.
Very frankly, I would say you should not make spelling mistakes when you do your reading because you take words from the passage. It is all there.
Yeah.
So why should you copy the wrong spelling?
Exactly.
So that doesn't make sense.
Few students don't understand the question properly and hence they assume about an answer.
Okay, that is, keep one thing in mind, that it is not it is not your answer that is required there. It is you finding the answer from the passage.
The answer is always there in the
Yes,
passage.
in the passage, and the writer has a line of thought. You have to follow that line of thought and not put in your interpretation to whatever you read.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest mistake that children make, and that's why they get all the answers wrong. It is not your answers, what you feel. It is about the answers that the author the question wants you to find. That is what I say. Step in the shoes of the writer.
So what you said is very true, and I hope this video will throw some light on how to handle your reading in a very efficient manner. So what we would like to tell you as a suggestion is we have to cultivate a reading habit. We have to frequently practice this at home.
Very true, very true.
For practice and support, kindly download the MedCity app, which is available on Play Store. For further assistance and clarification, you could always get in touch with us on the numbers mentioned below. Thank you.
Thank you.